In a user story with format as a role, I want to do what, so that, why. I understand the relevance of the role and the what part, but I am not very sure about the why part. The requirement is clear even without specifying the why part if the what part is clearly mentioned.
That's a very valid question. Often, people come to me saying they are not able to figure out what to mention in the so that part of the user story. I say, if you are not able to figure out the justification for the feature, park it and move on. It is likely that you may not need the feature, at least at that point. The effort spent on each feature of the product being developed should be justified by the value it delivers. This would allow the product owner to prioritize the story within the backlog. It is important that the developer should have a good understanding of what they are working on, so that they can make the best decision on how it is achieved. Let me explain by giving a real-life example of why that is important. We were working on building a custom ERP system for a client. In the requirement specification, there was a requirement to include a copy button in most screens. The button would copy the data available on the screen to the clipboard. Nobody bothered to ask why it was needed, and the feature was included in the required screens. Finally, before the final sign-off from the customer, they reported an issue that the copy feature was not working as expected. On further investigation of what the issue was, it turned out that the legacy system that the customer used had a feature where they could copy the content of screens with mostly tabular data and paste it directly into Excel. This feature was extensively used to export data from the system. With the new software, though the content was getting copied, on pasting it into Excel, the format was not exactly the same as they used to get from the legacy system. Here the problem was that the customer decided what the best solution to the problem was, instead of leaving it to the experts. If it were made known why the copy feature was required, the developer would have certainly pointed out that an export to Excel feature would be a better solution for the given problem. There is a quote from Henry Ford. If I asked people what they need, they would have said faster horse. Here, the so that was traveling from point A to point B faster, which Henry Ford understood and provided the best possible solution in the form of a car. So, it is important to mention not only what is required, but also why it is required, and leave the how to part to the developer.
Want to see how this team transformed using Scrum? Discover the full journey in My Agile Journey with Scrum. Read the book and unlock practical insights through a story.